Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another day, another little night, another position. We're doing the edge rushers, in case you couldn't tell. I kind of fucked up the order. Usually I do edge, then D tackle, then linebacker, but fuck it. Got a top 20, so let's just jump right into it. Ashton Leggett out of Louisville. Nice, big, rangy athlete. Same thing with Jared Ivey. He has some tools to him. Baron Sorrell, good tough nose bastard. David Walker, the sleeper pick, out of nowhere FCS guy, good enough athlete, as well as Adejo, Olu Adejo out of UCLA. He played some middle linebacker, inside linebacker, switched over to edge this year, and was fairly productive. So he has some versatility to him, as well as Princely Humanalian out of Ole Miss. Human Mielian? I probably fucked it up. I like him a lot. I think he's just a solid, well balanced athlete there. Same thing with Braden Swinton out of LSU. Kyle Kennard, South Carolina, one of my guys personally, like him a lot. Landon Jackson, funny guy. If you guys remember his high school, that weird little hip thing, you probably don't know. But good enough athlete, solid athlete. And Josiah Stewart out of could have snuck any one of these guys in my top 10 and would have been okay with it. Again, I think this is another deep position in this class. A lot of people sleeping on this draft, saying it's a bad draft. I think if you know ball and know what positions are important, I think it's going to be a fun one. So, my number 10, the rumors are true. I'm a Jordan Birch mark. We got Jordan Birch out of Oregon. Size freaks, you already know what the vibes be. Projected second or third round. I think a lot of these guys, even the guys we talked about, are second, third round range. Maybe fourth, but, edge is a high-end, valuable position. So, he has great explosiveness off the line. I think he has good versatility in a 3-4 or 4-3. I think he can stand up or put his hand in the dirt. Doesn't have the best leverage, though, and he's more winning off his athleticism than an actual rush plan or moves, in his repertoire. So you think of an athlete like Keon White, coming out of Georgia Tech a couple of years ago, similar profile. I like it. I like it a lot. You already know what I did. Put on the keynote. Number 9, Nick Scorton out of Texas A&M, transfer from Purdue. I think he lost a lot of weight, if I believe so. He was like at 280 at Purdue, and he lost weight and was in a different system. That's why his production might not have been what people wanted, but he has a great point of attack with his hands. I think he's a tough enough player, good motor to him. Doesn't lack, or again, lacks the bend, doesn't have the most fluid hips, pad level is a little high. Tackles could get him off his course that way. Saw a Melvin Ingram comp. I liked it a lot. I think he has a similar build. Could have a similar role in this league. A very solid, borderline Pro Bowl level edge guy. Number 8, we got my boy JT Tuimoloau out of the world champion right here. Really good agility, especially laterally. Good instincts to him. Really good, solid run defender. That's going to be his primary thing, especially coming into the league. Lacks the balance, could get pushed off of his plan. Isn't the most flexible guy. Good enough power, good enough range. He can deflect passes, get interceptions. He's at any moment he can be a playmaker at this position. Saw a comp of Robert Ayers, if you guys remember him, coming out of North Carolina. Really good, solid athlete. I think the same for my boy. Will be a very great rotational guy and potential long-term starter. So, number 7, Donovan Izaraku out of Boston College. A lot of people love him. I like him a lot myself. I guess I'm a little lower on him than most people, but first or second round guy, very twitchy, good athlete on the edge. I think that's what he'll primarily be. Really good on the 3-4. One of those teams that, a lighter guy, so he lacks the play strength, doesn't have the longest wingspan. And, for a guy his size, he isn't the most explosive off the line. Takes him a little bit longer than you'd want. But think of a Yannick Ngakwe, a nice solid athlete off the edge. I think he could be that. Might even have a little more juice to him, but I like it. I like it a lot. Speaking of love, speaking of glazing that we were talking about with Trey and Emeka, my boy Captain Motherfucking Jack Sawyer out of the leader, toughness, great guy. Just a bunch of shit that doesn't have to do with football. Great motor, great heart. He'll fight every single play. Good IQ, smart, intelligent player. I think he's an underrated athlete. He's not the best athlete, especially in this class, so people are going to knock him for that. But I think he's just a well-rounded guy. He knows how to put speed to power on the run. Again, is Steph is the most athletic guy. Rush plan, he doesn't really have one. It's just I'm either going to power past this guy or use some sneaky agility that they didn't see coming, spin move, but how he can single-handedly change games, as you saw in the Texas game, and even the Michigan game, unfortunately, didn't go our way, but having a pick there, like a game changer. At any instant, he can make a big-time play for you on defense. His athletic profile doesn't match the high-level elite guys that he can play like at his best. So I saw Chris Long comp. If you guys remember Chris Long, he was number 2 pick back in 2008. Great, solid, tough guys, strong guy, good motor. Won 2 Super Bowls, was impactful. A good solid piece for them there. And then you'll obviously see all the Sam Hubbard comps because, coming from Ohio State, they also play similarly. And, yeah, love him a lot. Probably my number 1 player, being biased in this class. And, I just don't see how he isn't going to be a contributor. He might not be the elite Pro Bowler every single year, but he's just a football player, So I'm always going to be rooting for him. Shout to Donovan again. Number 5, we got Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. First-round pick, very great athleticism, had a great pro day. Good hand power, good, I say a solid run defender. I don't think that gets talked about enough, but he's just another guy who's raw, pass rusher. Texas A&M didn't really ask him or Scorton to just one-on-one beat your guy and have high-level production that way. So that's why their sack numbers were a little lower than what people want. So if that's a concern for you guys, I can get it. It's the classic what's more important, sacks or pressure. But I do think he's a good athlete. He's very raw. So again, get him in a place that could develop him, get him some rush moves, and tell him to not stand up so tall as he usually does. But think of a guy like Montez Sweat, what he's doing with the Bears now. I think he has the same trajectory type shit. As we got Mike Green out of Marshall, another good athlete, good agility, should be a first-round pick. He does have a lot of old baggage from high school and first year when he was in Virginia. I'm sure you guys have heard of it, the sexual allegations. I don't know. I'm kind of exhausted hearing about all the character concerns in this draft and, RP, my boy Kyron Lacey. It's annoying. I wish I could help these talented guys, quit getting yourselves in these positions. Just keep your head down, play football, play video games with your boys. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I want to be Big Bro to these motherfuckers, but teach his own. We'll let the NFL front offices and their investigation teams and all that deal with it. He doesn't have any charges on him now. It's just like past stuff. And do you think he could possibly do it again? Which you'd hope not to, but you know, really good agility, burst off the line, sudden movement. I think he can get a little better, and the run defense isn't as versatile as you'd like. I think he'd be best suited for a 3-4, just because of his size and length. Play strength can improve. Leonard Floyd comp, though, I think he has good upside. Leonard Floyd was a contributor to a Super Bowl team, so if he can level up, playing at Marshall was highly productive. If you guys think that's a flaw, that it might not translate, I could agree with you to some extent. That's why I don't have him higher as most people do, but I see the talent. And you guys know me. I will always root for the talent. More times than not, I will bank on it, or I'll take a chance on it. It's worth it. As number 3, my boy Michael Williams out of Georgia. I guess I'm higher on him than most people. I think he's progressively went down boards every month. It seems like that he's one of those guys. We have one in every position, feels like, but great athleticism, good fluidity, can set the edge on the run defense. I think that can translate well. Like if all else fails, if he can't get good sacks, good sack production, he'll be a very good run stopper for you. Another guy, again, rush plant. Like I don't know what in college. It's like you're just an athlete. Go get it. We're not teaching swim moves and strafes and all these good stuff that would help translate in the league. But, I trust Georgia's coaching staff, so that's why an athlete who's been in that system, I believe in him. So pad level could, get helped with as well. Gregory Rousseau, do you guys see how he be? Very good athlete for the Bills. I think he can do the same thing. Late first at this point, maybe mid-first, second round, maybe, but I think he's a first-round talent athlete. Don't know how many this year I have there. I need to actually monitor how many people I think is a first round, second round, third, because if I have 50 fucking first round picks, then the math isn't mathing, folks. But number 2, another guy I like a lot, James Pearson Jr. out of Tennessee. Got him as a first round pick. He came in potentially one of the top picks in the draft. I think he had another very good, solid year. Maybe not the most extreme shit that we were thinking, but I think he's very good explosiveness, good versatility. I do think he has a good amount of rush moves to him. I think he's one of the more just pure pass rushers, get to the quarterback. Talented athlete. His timing, and setting the edge with a run. Even in the backfield, sometimes he'll miss tackles. His run defense can improve. Think of an athlete like Brian Burns. I think he can be a perennial Pro Bowler for years to come. Think of him very highly in that order and such and so on and so forth. As we got, of course, Abdul Carter out of Penn State, first-round pick, very aggressive, another very instinctive athlete, football player, good power. He's another guy who switched from middle linebacker to edge. So if you want the Micah Parsons comps, sure. Von Miller, sure. I went with Will Anderson. I still think that's a great Pro Bowl, elite talent. Going to be one of the better edge rushers in the next 5 years, He's still a little newer to the position, so again, he can, have, like it says here, better consistency with hands and just a better overall plan as well in the pass plan department. Moves in his repertoire. Good enough run defender. I think that's only going to get better with time, and maybe even if he adds a little more weight to him potentially. But I think he is a perfect 3-4 guy. So, hey, This has been me, your boy King Caleb here, doing the Edge Rush class at a quiet whisper for you guys. I'm trying not to annoy my neighbors, unlike some motherfuckers. It was like a year ago. Thank God that bitch is gone. But anyway, this has been your boy King Caleb here, signing the fuck out.